You have been staring at a number that has nothing to do with your life. The internet says you need $2 million to retire. That number was not built from your spending. It was built from your income. And for most couples, those two things are not the same. Here's what actually happened. Fidelity built their 10 times salary benchmark around a single assumption. They assume you need to replace 45% of your pre-retirement income in retirement. For a couple earning $200,000 a year, 45% of that is $90,000. Run that through the 4% rule. 90,000 divided by 0.04. The number is 2.25 million. Fidelity rounds it down to 2 million. That is the number you see everywhere. That is the number keeping you up at night. But here is the question nobody asks. Is $90,000 what you actually spend in retirement? This is Sarah's money map. We're here because you want to understand the math behind the number, not just the number itself. If that sounds useful, subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it might save you years of unnecessary work. Now let's walk through it together. There is a gap between what you earn and what you spend. For most high-earning couples, that gap is enormous. Right now, before you even get to retirement, a significant portion of your income is already spoken for by things that vanish the moment you stop working. Take retirement contributions first. If you and your partner are saving 15% of $200,000 a year, that is $30,000 a year you are currently earning but not spending on your life. It goes directly into your accounts. In retirement, that contribution disappears. You do not need to replace it. Next, think about your mortgage. If you retire at 67 with a 30-year mortgage you took out in your late 30s, that mortgage is paid off. That payment is gone. For many couples, that is another $1,500 to $2,000 a month that simply does not exist in retirement. Add commuting, work clothes, the lunches, the dry cleaning, the professional subscriptions. These are not luxuries. They're the cost of working. They disappear the day you stop. Now, run the real math. Take a couple earning $200,000 a year, saving 15%, paying a mortgage, commuting. Their actual retirement spending, the money that goes toward their life and not their career, is closer to $50,000 a year. Maybe $55,000 if they are generous with themselves. $50,000 times 25. That is the 4% rule applied to your actual spending. The number is $1,250,000. Fidelity says 2 million. The math on your real life says 1,250,000. The gap is $750,000. That is not a rounding error. That is a second home. That is 12 years of college tuition. That is a decade of retirement you thought you had to keep working for. Now here is where I want to slow down, because I think the honest version of this math is more useful than the clean headline version. The 4% rule has a caveat. It was built by William Bengen in 1994 based on 30-year retirement periods. If you retire at 62 and live to 95, you are looking at a 33-year horizon, maybe longer. Bengen himself later noted that for retirement periods closer to 45 years, the safer withdrawal rate drops to 3.5%. That means multiplying your spending by 28 instead of 25. At 3.5%, $50,000 in spending requires $1,400,000. Still not $2 million. Still significantly less than what the internet tells you. And then there is healthcare. This one deserves a direct answer. Fidelity's 2025 estimate puts lifetime healthcare costs at $172,500 for a single person retiring at 65. For a couple, that is $345,000. That number has more than doubled since 2002, and it keeps climbing. But here is how to think about it correctly. That $345,000 does not sit on top of your spending as a separate pile. Healthcare and retirement is a line item. It is part of your budget. If your retirement spending is $50,000 a year and roughly $7,000 of that goes toward premiums, co-pays, and Medicare costs, then your spending number already includes it. You are not stacking $345,000 on top of $1,250,000. You are building healthcare into what you actually spend, then multiplying. The honest range for that $200,000 couple lands somewhere between $1,400,000 and $1,600,000. Not $2 million. The $750,000 gap in the title is the conservative scenario. The realistic range is still $400,000 to $600,000 less than the benchmark. There is one more piece that almost never gets mentioned: Social Security. The average retired worker collects roughly $2,000 a month as of early 2026. For a dual income couple, both claiming at full retirement age, that is potentially $40,000 a year in income your portfolio does not have to generate. Here is a way to picture this. Imagine two bars side by side. The first bar is your target portfolio if you had no Social Security at all. For a $50,000 retirement, that bar sits at $1,250,000. Now think about what $40,000 a year in Social Security does to that bar. Every dollar of annual Social Security income reduces your required portfolio by $25. $40,000 of combined benefits shrinks that bar by $1 million. The bar drops. It drops dramatically. That scenario is too aggressive for most people. Sequence of returns risk is real. Healthcare surprises happen, and Social Security projections carry their own uncertainty. But the direction the math moves is important. When you plug in your actual numbers instead of a benchmark assumption, the finish line moves closer almost every time. This is the income illusion. Retirement calculators measure your income, then assume you spend almost all of it. But high earners save more, pay more in taxes, and spend a smaller fraction of their income on their actual life than the models assume. The Fidelity benchmark was not built for you. It was built for median earners. For a median earner, the math is roughly right. For a couple earning $200,000, the math is significantly wrong. Here's the protocol. 3 steps, and you can do all of them this week. Step 1 is to calculate your spending number, not your income, not your salary. Open your bank statements from the last 12 months. Add up what actually left your account for your life, food, housing, travel, utilities, the things you enjoy. Subtract retirement contributions. Subtract a mortgage if you plan to pay it off before retirement. Subtract any work-related costs that disappear when you stop working. That lower number is your spending number. It is the only number that matters for retirement planning. Step 2 is to multiply your spending number by 28, not 25. The extra buffer accounts for a longer retirement horizon and gives you a real margin for healthcare costs. If your spending number is $50,000, your target is $1,400,000. Write that down. Compare it to what the internet told you. Notice the gap. Step 3 is to layer in your Social Security estimate. You can find your projected benefit at SciGov in about 5 minutes. Take that annual number and multiply it by 25. Subtract the result from your Step 2 target. What is left is the amount your portfolio actually needs to generate. For most dual income couples, that number is considerably smaller than anything a benchmark calculator has ever shown them. There is something worth sitting with here. The $2 million benchmark is not a lie. It is a shortcut built for simplicity and for a population of average earners. For you, it is just the wrong shortcut. It assumes you spend what you earn, when in reality, you have been saving, investing, and building for years. The benchmark penalizes you for being good at this. Your spending number is the honest version. It reflects the life you actually need to fund, not the income an algorithm assumes you need to replace. And for most people who do this calculation honestly, the number that comes back is clarifying, not smaller because you are giving something up. Smaller because you were never actually spending $2 million worth of life in the first place. Run the math this week. You might find out you are closer than you thought. I want to know what your spending number looks like compared to what a benchmark told you. Drop it in the comments. No need to share the exact figures, just the gap. It helps everyone here recalibrate. Thanks for being here. I will see you in the next one. For educational and entertainment use only. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing here is personal financial advice. Investing involves risk. Some AI tools may be used, but I, Sarah, still check and edit the final content.